The last year has been one of the most challenging years that I can recall, but it has ended up being filled with so many amazing memories from all of the great adventures that we had. I wanted to take a look back at some of the memories from this year. I owe a huge thanks to all of you that have watched a video, left a like, dropped a comment, or smashed that subscribe button. It's your support that keeps me pushing forward and making these videos each and every week. Going all the way back to the start of 2020, we kicked off the year with a huge announcement that I was going to be adding an EcoDiesel JL to the channel. This ended up leading me on a van road trip overnight to Calgary, Alberta to pick it up. But before we did that, we had a couple awesome adventures in the JK, one of which ended up being the most viewed video of the entire year. Was meeting fellow creator Sean from the Story Till Now and his Gladiator on 37-inch tires. Off an entire year of collaborations as we both scrambled to make last-minute plans for adventures, as we had to accommodate the newly arriving and continually changing restrictions in travel. Unfortunately, that also meant canceling my plans to travel south of the border to both of the Jeep Jamborees that I was planning to attend. However, we ended up replacing all of those plans with some epic camping trips to some insane locations around British Columbia. After taking delivery of the EcoDiesel JL, I wasted no time hitting the trails to get my first impressions of it. This led to some fun exploring here on the island and my first encounter with some snow. Shortly after that, the mods started arriving. We replaced the rear bumper with a tire carrier, added 37-inch tires, gave it a 3-inch lift, and bolted on a new winch to the front bumper. And it wasn't long until we headed back out on the trails. The next adventure was right around the corner when Sean from the Story Till Now sent me an invite to go hit the Whipsaw Trail here in southern British Columbia. I've always wanted to run this trail, but when we arrived, there was still far too much snow to be able to make it all the way through to the end. We still had a blast, we made the best of it, and everyone had a great weekend.
crap out of here before I rip the whole side of my Jeep up on this tree.
Snowing, look at this snow, guys. And we are gonna turn around and go back down to where we started, where that horse barn was. Only a few weeks later, I would be venturing off the island once again to go meet up with Sean to go shoot our funny video, Adventure Burger, that we submitted to the Overlander Film Festival. Hey man, I'm starving. How much longer do you think you're gonna be?
I'm almost there.
You know what I haven't had in a long time is a great cheeseburger.
Yeah, me too, man. Everything around here is kind of mediocre, though.
Okay, I found something that looks pretty interesting, and it might require a little adventure. The site looks a bit questionable, but what's the worst that can happen? They're called the Adventure Burgers.
I love adventure.
We need to drive to an epic location where no one else is around. Then we have to cook the patties over hot coals. The meat can't touch the flames until the sun is about to set.
Coals? As in charcoal?
Oh yeah, we're gonna need a charcoal grill for this. Good thing I brought my Overland grill. This would take us to one of the most stunning locations that we'd ventured to this year, and quite possibly one of the sketchiest sections of trail. This was such a memorable trip, and one that I didn't think would be topped. Then, my good friend Clinton from Dirt Garage convinced Sean and I to make the 12-hour drive all the way out to the eastern edge of British Columbia to attend the annual camping trip hosted by Mountain Jeep Mike. Well, this ended up turning into an adventure to some of the most epic scenery that I had ever seen. We explored some amazing trails in the heart of the Rocky Mountains, visited glacier-fed lakes, and climbed to the peaks of the mountaintops and camped at those glaciers. We finished up the trip at one of the most breathtaking locations that I had ever seen, and this will now be an annual trip in my calendar. Sean and I decided that we needed to see more of this area. We rented a house, brought our families out for a week, and quickly started doing some more exploring. Clinton was able to join up with us once again and show us some of his favorite spots in the area, and the boys from Epic Adventure Outfitters were able to make it out and join us on some of these adventures. Unfortunately, Paul and Christian lost a drone high up in the mountain peaks on one of their adventures that they went out on their own. This led Sean and I to go on a mission to recover it. As we got closer to autumn, the trails began to become covered in snow. So I decided to invite Sean over to the island to go and do some exploring. We took our rigs north with some of my island friends, Dustin, Eli, and John, and we stayed at an amazing cabin located right on the ocean. From there, we took our rigs deep into the mountains and headed west to the coast of Vancouver Island. This is where we stayed our final night at an absolutely breathtaking location on a bay right on the Pacific Ocean.
As we come around, wide open to the Pacific Ocean.
When I returned, I began contemplating what to do with my 2008 JK that had been sitting dormant in my driveway since taking delivery of the JL. So we took it wheeling.
Beauty, look at that. Barely fits on top.
It It was great to once again meet up with the island crew, Eric, Chris, Faye, and Ethan. And with the help from my good friend Chris operating the camera, we had an awesome adventure exploring flooded trails and tight trees. After that trip, it looked like the year was coming to an end for adventures when all of a sudden I got a message from Epic Family Road Trip, who were situated here on Vancouver Island and wanted to know if I wanted to go wheeling. Of course I did. Sean was able to join up with us, and once again we headed north for some more island adventures. But you're gonna have to wait until next week to see that full video. Thank you all for the tremendous support throughout 2020, and I can't wait to see what the new year will bring. And as always guys, I will see you next week in the next video.